Alright, I'm here with the quick in-betweening tutorial for those who need the basics on how it works. Here I have a rough test guy on screen, and he's in 3 key stages: the standstill, the wind up, and the punch itself. What in-betweening does is going to help me create some timing in between each of these movements. I mean, if you play it now, it's not going to look so well. It's going to look a little choppy. So adding some frames in between should help me smooth this out. What I want to do is, I want to make the wind up slower. So between the time that he stands still and winds up his hand, it needs to be a bit slow, while the release of the fist can stay as quick as it is, or just a little bit slower. So I'm going to turn this onion skin on, and I'm going to draw what happens in between these 2 frames. So there he is, lifting his hand from his side. He's just starting to do that. Now we'll see how that plays. It looks a little better, a bit smoother, but it looks like it can be just a bit slower. I'm going to add 1 frame between each of these. So there we have 1. Alright, he winds up his fist. It looks a bit smoother. And so this is how in-betweening helps you in your animations, because if you just start off with trying to do each frame one at a time, it could look a bit sloppy and you could lose your consistency. For example, the figure could become smaller. But in animating the key poses, the most dramatic change in the character's movement, you get to keep this consistency, and your animation can also flow better depending on how you do it. But that's just me. It may not work for everyone, but this is how I do it. So writing the final build-up frame here. Alright, the wind-up is looking a bit smoother. And now for the release of the fist. Since the release needs to be fairly quick, I'm not going to add a lot. Just going to make a very small in between for this moment in time. And I'll leave that at 1 frame. There's my frame set up. All of my keyframes are the ones that take up 3 spots. The in-betweens are the frames that are only 2 notches thick. And the 1 frame in between this frame here, that's the one that's in between the actual wind up and the punch. So you have a simple looking, fairly smooth punch that was made simple by in-betweening. Kind of a crappy tutorial, but I hope it helped you to get the point.